And you're good.
Okay, welcome everybody. It's Monday, and I hope everybody had a very nice Mother's Day. Happy belated Mother's Day to those that were not at practice yesterday. Okay, so we're in the first section, and I believe today is going to be White Crane Spreads Its Wings Day. So I believe last week we worked on raise hands and step forward. So let's start from the beginning, and we'll go up to raise hands and step forward, and then we'll I'll take questions, and if no questions, then we'll move on to the next movement. Okay. All right. So let's start. Feet shoulders width apart, feet point straight, hands touching the outer part of your thighs, looking straight forward. We go to opening, rotate and lift to shoulder height. Once to shoulder height, let the arms float down. We're pressing down, leading with the upper arm, forearm, and then the palms. We go to ward off left, shifting left, turn right. Shift to the right, circle your arms. Arms close, step. Then ward off left. Ward off right, back and turn. Shifting to the left, rotate the left arm, grabbing and pulling. Close the arm, step. Then right arm up, left arm down slightly. Roll back, turn to the right, rotate both arms. Shift back, turn to the left. Press, turn back. Left arm, hand touches middle forearm, and we expand out. Separating the arms to shoulders width. Shift back, roll over ball in front of the chest, and push back up to shoulder height. Single whip. Shift back, flat your hands, turn. Grabbing and pulling with the left hand. Shift back. Pivot. Hook hand. Ward off. Standing ward off. Stepping. Rotate and strike. Raise hands and step forward. Back to center. Turn 45 degrees. Shifting to the left. Open your arms. Stepping with the right heel for an empty stance. Close your arms. Okay, so empty stance means we've got touching with the heel, one line, two sides, 70% of the weight in the back leg, 30% in the forward leg, arms, hands are on either side, don't cross the center line, okay? All right, anybody have any questions on any of these movements?
I do, Nancy. Can you hear me? Could you quickly review the modified steps for single whip?
Oh, sure. Okay.
I forgot them a little bit.
Okay. All right. So we shift weight back, flatten the hands, turn the body, pivot. Say we can go to 12 o'clock. Shift back, come into your T-step. Okay. Now we got our hook hand and ward off. All right. Step out like you normally would for the bow stance. Then rotate the arm, closing the right foot, pivoting on the heel. So now we end up in a good single whip position.
Thank you.
Okay, sure. Okay, any other questions? All right, so we're at raise hands and step forward. Then our next movement is going to be White Crane Spreads Its Wings. Let's go over the footwork for White Crane Spreads Its Wings. Normally, I'll have my back to you. Okay, so let's try it in the same direction. Okay, so we've got our whole heel on the floor, the right heel on the floor, and we are not shoulders width apart. We are the center line, two sides, okay? Now, I want you to rock back on your right heel edge. Pick up your right foot, taking your hips, and turning them so now your right foot points to the front left corner. We're going to shift our weight over to the right, and we're going to pivot on the left ball of the foot, and you're going to have a nice turn. Pick up your left foot, touch with the ball of the left foot, push the ball of your foot into the floor. Now we're in an empty stance using the ball of the foot. So we should be on the other side of the line, one line, two sides, and not too far away, okay? All right, so we'll do that one more time from here. All right, shift weight back. We're on the heel edge now. pick up your right foot, turning the hips, point your right foot now to the front left corner. Shift weight to the right, you're gonna turn and you're gonna pivot on the left ball of your foot. Bring the left foot in and touch with the left ball of the foot. Then push down into the floor 30% of your weight, okay? So we're changing directions from the 12 o'clock direction to the 9 o'clock direction. Okay, so let me go this direction. All right, here we are at raise hands. Move weight, pick up your right foot, turn, okay? And the heel turns because we're turning our hip. And what I want you to do is I want you to kind of stay in place and turn your hips. So try not to move weight over, okay? So pick up your foot and put it on the floor. Shift weight over. Now you're going to have this nice turn and pivot. Bring the left foot in, touch with the left ball of the foot. Apply 30%, okay? So how can I tell, or how can you tell if you've got 30% in your forward leg? You're going to feel most of your weight is in your back leg. So if I go into this movement and I put my foot on the floor and then I go into the supposed empty stance, but then I look like this. See how I move too much of my weight forward, okay? So I need to have you be clear that the majority of the weight you're sitting in the right leg, okay? So try not to move too much of your weight forward. That's kind of a common mistake people make. So let's try this one more time. Here we are in our right empty stance using our heel. All right, move weight back, pick up your heel, turn your hip, point your foot 45 degrees. Move weight to the right, turn, pivot. Bring the left foot in, touch with the ball of the foot. Then put 30% forward. Now, is the majority of your weight in the back leg? Your back leg should be feeling a little something, more so than the front leg. So if you move your weight too far forward, now we've got the majority of our weight in the front leg. So we want to make sure that we keep it in the back. Okay. All right. Any questions on this footwork?
Quick question. When you do the empty stance, do you try to touch your toes at all in front, or do you just balance your weight on the middle and the heel of your foot?
Okay, this is a really good question. All right. When I touch the floor, I'm not touching with the toes. I'm touching with the ball of my foot. Touching with the ball of my foot, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to push the ball of the foot into the floor. Yeah. Okay. So, so other styles, their empty stance is truly an empty stance. They will just basically touch with the tip of their toe and maybe have 1 to 5% of their weight on this front foot. In the Yang family, we need to make sure that we still have something in the forward foot, but it'll be less than in the back foot. So in an empty stance. So when you touch with the ball of your foot, okay, so now all my toes are on the floor. Then what I want you to do is, because we have this suction cup, we call this the bubbling well, and it's right behind the ball of your foot, okay? So, you know, if you cup your hand, you can kind of see that it kind of concaves in slightly here in our palm, okay? So if you think of the best analogy that I can give so far is a suction cup. You know how we go like this to the suction cup, and then we put the suction cup onto, let's say, the glass, and then it's not yet affixed to the glass until we push the center in. We push the center in so that the air goes out, and so now it creates a seal, all right? So that's what we want, is when you touch with the ball of your foot, that we push down into the ground to create that seal. And so that's what the bubbling well does. It's our connection to the earth that keeps us what we call rooted, okay? So did that answer your question? It was Marion, right?
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Okay, all right. So any other questions on this footwork?
Yeah, this is Pierre. So in order to make the suction cup work, are you saying that, you know, the weight, most of the weight's on the ball of the foot, but do you also, does your heel end up touching the ground?
No,
Okay, thank you.
not touch the ground. What I'm doing is basically I'm tamping into the ground. So those of us that are that enjoy gardening, you know how we make scoop up the dirt and we put the seed in and then we put the dirt back on top. Well, we have to compress the dirt. So you know how you push into the dirt. That's what we're basically doing with our footwork, using the ball of the foot for an empty stance. We're pushing into the ground. What I want you to try to avoid is, again, pushing too far forward. So we want to push down. Did that answer your question, Pia?
Yeah, thanks.
Excuse me. Okay, any other questions? Okay, that's a no. All right, so let's look at our arm work. Here we are at raise hands and step forward, okay? So we're in this position, okay? So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to rotate your arms. We're gonna go to the left. So now the left palm points upward, the right palm points forward, okay? Then we're going to circle down. We're gonna circle down, and about halfway down, the left arm's gonna circle up and around and press down in front of the chest, okay? So from here, we rotate, we circle down, circle up and around, and press down in front of the chest. Okay? What the right hand is gonna do, if you think of holding somebody's arm, we rotate and both arms go down circle. The left arm comes up and the right arm now is going to change its shape. So now the right palm faces up. So now we have our closed arms, okay? So from here, rotate, we pull down, circling up the left arm, flattening and closing the right arm until we have our closed arms, okay? Then from here, the right arm is going to come up, and about 3 and 9 o'clock, the right arm is going to rotate, palm facing forward. Okay, so it's going to lift up, and about halfway up, it's going to rotate, palm facing forward. When the right arm comes up, the left arm is basically going to float down. It's going to press down. Okay, so it's going to end up along your side of your hip, in front of your hip slightly, okay? And so how do we know if it's in the right position? If you just let your arm dangle and lift your palm and bend your elbow a little bit, this is its natural resting place. So this is the position it should be in, okay? So from here, we rotate our arms and we pull down. Halfway down, the left arm keeps circling. The right hand flattens and palm facing up. Then we close our arms. Then from here, right arm comes up. Halfway up, we rotate, palm facing down as the left arm arcs its way downward. So we end up looking like this, okay? Or from the side position, it looks like this. We have to make sure that the right hand palm is facing forward. So try not to tilt your hand. So right palm should be facing forward, left palm facing down. So I want you to imagine that if you lift something up, that this is here to protect your head, okay? And the left hand will be here alongside your hip. Okay, so one more time from here. We rotate, both hands circle down, left hand circling up, flattening the right. Now right palm faces up, arms close. Then right arm comes up, rotating palm facing out, left arm floating downward. Yeah? Okay, so basically what the right arm is doing by rotating is, we call this ward off. So we are lifting up, ward off, up. So we are rotating and ward off, up. Okay. All right, so does anybody have any questions on the arm movements? Okay, that's a no. All right, so let's take this from raise hands and step forward. I'll go in this direction. All right, white crane spreads its wings. We're gonna rotate the arms. Then from here, as we move our weight back, we're gonna pull down. We're rocking back on the heel edge. Left arm circles up, right arm closes. When our arms close, we are gonna step, okay? So when your arms close, we step at the same time. Then we're gonna move our weight over, we're gonna pivot. And we're gonna bring the left foot in and we're gonna step. Then the right arm is gonna come up as we apply the 30%. Right arm's gonna come up, left arm's gonna press down as we go into the 30%. Okay? All right, let's try that one more time. From here. All right. White crane spreads its wings, rotating the arms, pulling down as we shift back. Circle your arms, arms close, step. Shift weight to the right, turn. Bring the left foot in, step. Right arm comes up, rotating palm facing up, forward, left arm floating downward. Okay, so we end up like this, okay? All right, one more time from here. White crane spreads its wings, rotate, pull down. Circle your arms, arms close, step. Shift weight to the right. Bring the left foot in, step. Right arm comes up, rotating palm facing up, or palm facing out, left arm presses down. Okay, one more time. White crane spreads its wings. Rotate, pull down. Circle your arms. Step, turn, pivot. Step. Right arm comes up, rotating palm facing forward. Ward off up as we press down with the left hand. Okay? All right. Anybody have any questions on this so far?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, left elbow. Okay.
I'm sorry?
So your left elbow at the end of that, is the left arm hanging down or bowed slightly? The left arm at the end of that posture.
The left arm at the end is, okay, so if we have this shape and then we rotate our arms like this and then we let it drop, it is like that.
Okay, good, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, so we should have this kind of curve.
Yeah, okay.
Arms. We don't want to have a straight arm and then here, and we don't want it too bent like this. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Nancy.
Nancy,
Yes?
this is Yali. When you do the 30% in the empty stance, does your body move forward a bit?
It will move forward a bit, but I want you to press down into the floor. So the problem is, if I do this, okay, so say I'm doing this movement and I come here and then I push down, I'm pushing into the floor, but then I move my weight forward. Now what's happened is which leg is empty, which leg is full. So you have to be very careful with this movement that we are kind of going a little bit forward. We're basically going down, pushing down into the floor.
Okay, thank you.
Nancy, I have a question about how high you raise your arm. I heard somebody say, don't raise your shoulder too high, but you do need, I see you, I mean, I thought you do raise it a little bit to do the fan.
Okay, so one of the essentials is that we have to keep the elbow and shoulder down. Okay, so go into this position.
Mhm.
All right, now our elbow actually is pointed downward. Okay, so there's a difference between this. Now lift up your elbow. Okay, now your elbow is pointed upward instead of pointing downward. Okay, so how can you test to make sure your arm is correct? If you go into push, and if you let your arm fall down, this is resting, this is pushing, then what I want you to do is I want you to take that arm and just curve it to the side. This is white crane spreads its wings. So it feels like your elbow and shoulder are up, but there's a difference between this and this.
Right.
This and this. So we want to have this push position, but in a curve going this direction.
But you need to make sure you're protecting your head. So above your face, it's near your, you know, if a blow were coming at your head, that's where your arm would be. Okay.
Your fingers should be pointing towards the side. Your palm should be forward. Your hand needs to be over your head. All right.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you bend your hand a little bit so the fingers can point to the side. You bend your hand down a little bit.
Bend my hand down. No. Okay. So if I keep this same shape, but I drop my elbow, this is push.
Right.
If I drop my arm, but I keep the same shape and I drop it downward, this is, I'm resting at my side.
Right.
So push and then curve it.
Okay.
Going, okay. So I don't want you to come like this and then,
Right.
so you have your shape here. So from here, we're just rotating and lifting upward. So there should be no change in your wrist. It's a whole arm rotation.
Okay.
So just like rollback is a whole arm rotation.
Right.
Okay, this is one queen's wave, right?
Right.
Okay. Now we're just going upwards. We're just going upwards
Okay.
instead of to the side.
That's what I thought, but I wanted to be sure. Thank you.
Oh yes, be sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got a question for you, Nancy. It's
Okay.
Cheryl.
Hi, Cheryl.
Hi. Is there a point when you transition from stepping and closing the arms to stepping out with the left foot that the arms aren't really changing very much? You kind of close them and they stay in that position for a split moment?
Yeah, okay. So what I'm doing is I'm teaching a timing, but when we actually go to do this, everything's going to be moving. Okay, so for instance, hopefully this is, I'm answering your question. Okay, so we rotate and we pull down. Circle, step, turn. I'm moving, I'm moving, I'm moving. Okay, so things don't stop. If there's one stopping point, a slight stopping point, it would be this. This close your arms step.
Okay, thank you. That clarifies it.
Yes, but we don't stop there. So to get everybody to make sure that their footwork is in the right position, then I teach the movement like this. But when you actually go to do it, and when we're like this, and we start to move this way, and we pivot, I'm not waiting for my foot to touch the floor and before I move my arms. They're both going together.
Yeah, that's what I was doing, but that's why I wanted to confirm.
Yes, no, for sure.
Thank you.
Know, we have to, you know, I want to teach in what I consider Kodak moments. So to make sure that the timing is correct, and to make sure that we're in a good posture. But you know, the one of the essentials is we have to keep moving, continually moving. So it'll all blend together for sure. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, so let's try this. I'm gonna go your same direction, normal direction. Okay, so my back's gonna be towards you. So we're gonna look like this. Okay, we go to raise, we're in raise hands and step forward. We're going to white crane spreads its wings. So we rotate the arms, we pull down as we shift back. Circling the arms, arms close, step, turn, pivot, stepping, right arm comes up, left arm goes down, pushing into the floor. Okay, one more time. White crane spreads its wings, rotating, pull down. Circle the arms, arms close, step, turn, pivot. Right arm comes up, left arm goes down, empty stance using the ball of your foot. Make sure your heel is not touching the floor. Is your right palm facing forward? Is your left arm by your side? Do you have 70% in your right leg? So the right leg absorbs the majority of the weight. Okay, any questions on this? Okay, let's talk about looking direction. Looking direction, here when we rotate, we're looking forward. When you pull down, I want you to follow your arms. But when you follow your arms, try not to do this. Don't tilt your head down. Follow your arms. Circle your, and so we're going to be following the left arm circling. And when our arms close now, I'm going to be looking towards almost the corner direction, maybe between the corner and the side. I'm not totally looking towards the side. Then from here, we're going to turn. Now I'm facing towards the 9 o'clock direction. And I go into my final movement. So here, follow your arm. Don't drop your head. Close. You know, I am kind of looking towards between 12 and diagonal direction. Then turn. Then looking towards the 9 o'clock direction. So here I want you to think of, we rotate because in raise hands we have somebody's arm. So we rotate our arms so that we can pull down. We can pull down. Now, for those of you that have the book Mastering Yang Style Tai Chi Chuan by Fu Xiangwen, translated by Louis Swain, you can get that on Amazon. It's in English. It's the one book that we recommend people to read. It's pretty technical, so it's a lot of details. Okay, so in this movement, there used to be what's called a shoulder strike. Okay, so we have 8 energies. One of the energies is the shoulder strike. Okay, so before to show the shoulder strike, they would dip down and then they would turn and strike with the shoulder. So because we want to keep our height the same, we don't want to dip, okay? So in order to show the shoulder strike, what I need for you to do is to keep your shoulders the same. Then when you step, your hips are going to turn, and then when you move your weight, you will have this turn of your body. This turn of the body shows the shoulder strike. Now, how can you not show the shoulder strike? Okay, say that fast, okay? How we avoid showing the shoulder strike is watch. When I pull down, look at what my shoulders are doing. Now my shoulders are going to the 9 o'clock direction. They're already at 9 o'clock. So when I turn, when I step and I shift my weight over, I don't have a turn because my shoulders have already turned. So in order to show this shoulder strike, I need for you to pull straight down, circle your arms, step, then now turn and pivot, okay? So it's with the turn pivot that we're able to show the shoulder strike now instead of the dipping down, okay? So let's try this again from here, okay? White crane spreads its wings, rotating, pull down. Circle your arms, arms close, step, turn, pivot. Right arm comes up, left arm goes down, touching with the ball of the foot, 30% going to your empty stance. Now, our shoulders should be square to the 9 o'clock direction. Looking direction is the 9 o'clock direction. Right hand over the head, left hand kind of in its natural resting position. Okay, let's try that again. From here. White crane spreads its wings. Rotate, pull down. Circle your arms. Arms close, step, turn, pivot. Right arm comes up, rotating, palm facing out, left arm pressing down. So now we end up in this position. Okay, how's this? Anyone have any questions? That's a no. Okay, let's start from the beginning and we'll go all the way up to a white crane spreads its wings. Okay, so here we are at prepare. We go to opening. Almost at the bottom, ward off left. Shifting left, turn right. Circle your arms. Arms close, step. Turn, ward off left. Ward off right. Arms close, step. Ward off right. Roll back, turn, rotate, shift back. Keep your arms the same shape. Press, turn back. Expand out. Separating your arms, shift back, roll over a ball, and push back to shoulder height. Single whip, back, turn. Remember, you can modify your footwork if you need to. Standing ward off, rotate, and strike. Raise hands and step forward. Back, turn 45 degrees, shift to the left, open your arms, bring the right foot in, step with the heel, close your arms. White crane spreads its wings, rotate, pull down. Circle your arms, step, turn, pivot. Right arm comes up, left foot touching with the ball of the foot. We end up in our empty stance. Now, put your whole foot on the floor, your left foot, and slide it straight back. Are you in a good empty stance? Did your footwork cross? Are you too far away, or are you pretty much just right? Okay, so remember, when we end up in our empty stance, we must be able to clear the foot, but this is too far away from it, okay? All right, anybody have any questions?
It's me again, Nancy, Kathy. The
Hey,
right hand this time. I'm always holding it, I don't know, a foot in front of my head. It looks like you're way out there. You've really extended that right hand, the end of that. Is that correct? Really out there.
Okay, so if you go to push, and then you just lift this arm up and turn it to the side, this is about as far forward as you want to be. Okay?
That makes
this. Okay? So like this, okay? So ladies, what I don't want you to do is end up looking like this. Okay? Don't look like this, okay? This is too close. So if I'm like this and I lower my arm, this is my push arm. So if you go to push and then you lift up and turn it, then this is should be the right position.
great.
Okay, so not too far forward, not too far close in. Good question.
So helpful. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Any other questions? No? Okay. All right. So so your job this week is to practice the whole sequence. Concentrate on white crane spreads its wings. Make sure your timing is correct. Make sure that when you step or when you pull down, that you haven't turned your shoulders. Don't turn your shoulders too square, okay? You can turn them a little bit, but the moment you go square, then when you step and you move weight over, you're not going to have a turn. So make sure that you're showing the shoulder strike by having a slight turn when we go into white crane spreads its wings. Okay, so that's your job this week, is to make sure that your end posture, you're in a good empty stance using the ball of your foot. Remember to tap into the floor, push down into the ground. Okay, that'll create your seal with the earth. All right, and let's see. Just a quick announcement. Kelly, you want to make an announcement? Yes, she does.
Sorry about that, my unmute wasn't working. If anybody needs help with their guided help with practice, I'm going to be running a guided practice on Thursdays at 10:30, from 10:30 to 11. If you're interested, so I run this practice for students of my own, and if you're welcome to join. The first visit will be free, and then after that, it'll be by donation to the school, to Yang Chengfu Tai Chi School. So you'll make your donations directly to the school to help the costs of the rent for the studio space, because they're still renting that studio space, but we're not in there. So all donations will be going to the school.
I will be sending out email with the link to register for the practice for those of you that would like to do that. So I'll just do a regular mail to everybody so that you'll have that.
What practices are you going to be working on? Is it all 3 sections, or?
No, it's going to be specifically for section 1. So basically what we covered in this class, just for anybody who either wants to look into it, if anybody has questions, or for people who are kind of new to the form and they just need a little bit of help with their practice.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, try it out and see, and then you'll get a feel for what it is that Kelly will be doing. She's going to be basically working on the first section up to where we have learned in class today. So, any part of what we've done so far, she's there to help. For those that need extra practice with the other movements, the new movement, then she's there to help with that as well. So try it out and see, okay? All right, so any questions or anything else? Okay, so I'll go ahead and close class. I'd like to thank everybody for coming, and I'll be sending out that email about Kelly's practice. Also, Judy has a practice Saturdays at 10:30 as well. She goes over different sections, so those of you that are interested, Judy has that as well. So I'll send information about both of those practices. Okay. All right. So have a fabulous week, and I will see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you.
Thank you for your practice. The sign.